Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Jaya Jagannatha Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Shri Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Narsimhadev 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 Jaya Narsimhadev. Jaya Narsimhadev 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 Jaya Narsimhadev. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Bo. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Hari Bo.
Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivracharya Sota Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivracharya Sota Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Girvi Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Yamuna Mai ki jai, Tulsi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Samavita Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. So nice to see so many devotees. I was just talking to a couple of devotees over the weekend that no matter how full the temple can be or not be, but when a couple of devotees or when certain devotees are missing, it creates a big emptiness in the temple. So it's very, very nice to see so many devotees. Today we will be discussing on a very interesting topic, but a topic that is very important for us to really think about, meditate on. We will open to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse 6. You can either pull it up on your phone, or we can have, perfect, Rohin, you read my mind, young man. Rohin will bring out the books. It's always nice to hold the book in the hand, because then we feel the knowledge that Srila Prabhupada wrote before he left the planet. So, Yamananka can help on the men's side, and Raja can help on the women's side. You can share the books if you want, so that way, it's a very nice practice that we try to recite together. So, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse 6. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tvajantyane kalevaram tam tam evaiti konteya sada tad bhava bhavita yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tvajantyane kalevaram sada tad bhava bhavit tam tam evaiti konteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. If a couple of devotees can chant on the men and women's side, that would be really nice. You go ahead, Hare Krishna. Yam yam papi smaran bhavam and anyone else on the men's side? Women. We'll do the word-for-word translation. Yum, yum, whatever. Va api, at all. Smaran, remembering. Bhavam, nature. Tyajati, gives up. Ante, at the end. Kalevaram, this body. Tam tam, similar. Eva, certainly. Eti, gets. Konteya, O son of Kunti. Sada, always. Tat, that. Bhava, state of being. Bhavitaha, remembering. Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport. Srila Prabhupada ki. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Purport. The process of changing one's nature at the critical moment of death is here explained. A person who at the end of his life quits his body thinking of Krishna attains the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. But it is not true that a person who thinks of something other than Krishna attains the same transcendental state. This is a point we should note very carefully. How can one die in the proper state of mind? Maharaj Bharat, although great personality, thought of a deer at the end of his life. So in his next life, he was transferred into the body of a deer. Although as a deer, he remembered his past activities, he had to accept that animal body. Of course, one's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of death. So this life creates one's next life. If in one's present life, one lives in the mode of goodness and always think of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. That will help one be transferred to the transcendental nature of Krishna. If one is transcendentally absorbed in Krishna's service, then his next body will be transcendental, spiritual, not material. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. Om Agnyatimirandhyasya Gyana Gyana Shalakaya Chakshur Onmalitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Parvanityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. So this evening's discussion is walking each other home. Very interesting title. And it's coming from the verse Bhagavad Gita chapter 8 verse 6. And is actually one of the principles of community building. Building spiritual relationships. If we take a moment and we think of our lives, each of us individually, as we walk through life from childhood to teenage years, to young adult, and into adulthood, we create our own environment. We create our own connections. We create our own relationships. And what we create determines our life, determines who will be there for us. I don't know how many of us take the time to think about this, but it's a very important reflective exercise. That we step back for a moment, close our eyes, and think about our environment, the world we live in. It's a crazy world out there. Our social circle, our job circle, our family. Where do you think we spend most of our time in a day? Just a moment, just close our eyes. And if we think, even if we think about one day, and we say, how much time did I spend in this environment? How much time did I spend in the social circle? How much time did I spend in the job circle? How much time did I spend with my family? And how much time did I spend with Krishna? If we think about it, we can definitely piece the pie and see that most of our time is spent outside of our spiritual circle. Again, if we step back and look within us, like go deep within ourselves, and evaluate our minds, and check our minds, our thoughts, our ideologies, right? Our attachments, our behavior. What did those thoughts do to us? You know, what did our ideologies, did it make us who we are not supposed to be? Our traditions, our values, our beliefs, did it make us someone that is very foreign to us? Now, how many of us has given thought about this topic that is very much related to Bhagavad Gita chapter 8, verse 6? At the last moments of our life, who do we want to see at our bedside? We all know, padam padam yad vipadam. Every step there is danger. I was just reading was reading a news a couple of days ago, a message posted on Facebook, one of a devotee that I know in New Vrindavan, senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada, Mother Leela Shuka. My husband and I know her. And she was walking out of her house, and she just fainted. Happened 2 days, so she just collapsed right on her steps. This happened 2 days ago in New Vrindavan. And they rushed her to the closest medical center, did some tests, and they found out that she had brain aneurysm. Flew her to the nearest, biggest hospital, something Ruby Memorial Hospital, something like that. In Krishna's arrangement, they were able to perform a procedure on her that hopefully she will live. Padam padam yat vipadam. She was just walking out of her house and she just fainted. Imagine our last moments. It's a scary thought for some, but it's going to happen. There's just no getting away from it. It's a thought that we have to face one day, but hopefully not wait to do something about it at the last moment, because at the last moment we can't even speak. We can't even lift our legs. Everything is going to be done for us. We just got to lay down, as they say, like a vegetable on the bed, right? And whatever they do to us, they do to us. So interestingly, Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that the life of Jad Bharat. As we all know, the King Bharat was a very wise king. In his prime of his life, he gave up everything. His wife, his children, kingdom, everything, and dedicated his life, the rest of his life, in self-realization. So he journeyed to the Himalayas, lived alone in the forest next to the bank of the Gandaki River. And every morning the king would, sing hymns to the Lord, do his devotional practices, collect various fruits and roots, and would offer to the Lord before eating. He was always meditating on Krishna. Very, very dedicated. Really, really dedicated. So one day, on the bank, on the river bank, he was meditating. And while he was meditating, he noticed he saw a pregnant female deer. The deer came to drink water at the river bank. And while she was drinking water, she heard a very loud lion roar. Out of great fear, she jumped Now, remember, she was pregnant. She jumped, and the baby in her womb fell out. And it fell in the rushing waters of the Gandaki River. And the mother deer was so frightened and weak from the miscarriage that she entered a cave, fear from the loud lion roar, and she shortly passed away. So King Bharat saw this, and he says, oh my God, this baby deer is flowing down the river. Let me go save it. And he was so elevated that he had equal vision. So he saw all living beings as equal. There was a Paramatma in the deer, and he said, let me serve this living entity. So he saved the baby deer from the rushing water, fed it, green grass, made sure the deer was comfortable, took care of it like a baby, like his own child. And over time, he became very attached to the baby deer, very, very attached, so attached that he would sleep with the baby deer, he would eat with the baby deer, he would bathe with the baby deer, he would walk, everything he did with the baby deer. Shri Shri Jagannath Subhadra ki Gaurnitai ki jai. And he enjoyed watching the baby deer leap and play like a child, just like a father. When you watch all the little kids playing, like, ooh, ah, all those nice stuff, right? And his love and attachment for the baby deer grew so much that he started to neglect his devotional practices. So one day when King Bharat was meditating, he noticed that the deer was missing, the baby deer was missing. So while he was doing his practices, he was looking for the baby deer, completely distracted. His mind became so agitated that frantically he began to search for the baby deer all over, but he couldn't find the baby deer. And King Bharat said, oh my God, what's going to happen to this deer? Well, is it going to come back? I live in the forest, there's going to be tigers, there's going to be wolves, there's going to be this. What if they eat the baby deer? He was completely 24/7 meditating on the baby deer. So he said, let me go find this deer. He went on a search looking for the deer. So while he was searching for the deer, he slipped and fell in the cracks of the ravines, of the ground. And he was very badly injured, so much so that lying at the point of death, he was thinking about the baby deer. Of course, that means he came back. He took birth, he came back as a baby deer. Because at the moment of death, knowing very well that he was dying, he thought about the deer. So in the next life, King Bharat entered the body of a deer, but although like most living entities who are not like us, who are not able to remember our previous life, he was given that boon, that blessing. So he was able to remember his previous life. Now, let's do a little bit of analysis here. If King Bharat had association of the devotees in the forest, would he have thought about the baby deer? What do you think? No. The reason he thought about the baby deer, because if you remember, he was alone in the forest. So his last moments was just him, the trees, the forest, loneliness, and thinking about the baby deer. There's a very beautiful lecture by His Holiness Radhanath Swami. He says, the only way that King Bharat would have attained liberation is if he was with the devotees. Because he was alone in the forest, and especially at the last moments of his death, he thought about the deer. No one was around him to remind him, hey, chant. Hey, do this, forget that you just chant the holy name, like, what are you doing? There was no one. Aside from the trees rustling and bustling, the water flowing, nothing was talking. So all he thought of was about the deer. So therefore, we should take our association with devotees very, very, very seriously. Not only should we take it very seriously, we have to see how to maximize the devotion through devotee association. Because those that we are associating with may be the devotees that will be by our bedside when we have to leave our bodies. Think about it for a couple of seconds. It's really, really deep. I'll tell you a pastime that actually happened. I will not mention the name of the person, but it happened in ISKCON many, many years ago. There was one devotee who was a disciple of a spiritual master in ISKCON. Very dedicated devotee. But at the same time, he was very proud of his knowledge in Sanskrit, in the samskaras and in deity service, and quoting slokas like a parrot. Very puffed up about it. So one day, he was asked to perform the fire yajna for his guru's disciples' initiation ceremony. And the spiritual master was giving a lecture right before the initiation. And this devotee, who was the disciple of that particular spiritual master, after the spiritual master spoke, the disciple got the guts to speak and correct his spiritual master. Definitely a big no-no. And so much so that devotee, his spiritual master, looked at him, didn't say a word, but kept quiet. Few years later, the same disciple disowned his spiritual master because he said, I know better than you. And we've heard Srila Prabhupada say that when a disciple says that I know better than you, sure fall down. Sure fall down. So he disowned his spiritual master. When the spiritual master was leaving his body, the same disciple came to see the spiritual master. And the disciple asked the personal servants of the spiritual master, this disciple of yours have driven all the way from a different state. This happened in US, by the way. He would like to see you. And the spiritual master said, no. Asked a second time, and the spiritual master said, no. And somehow Krishna arranged the situation where this disciple never saw the spiritual master. And the spiritual master did not ever see that disciple. Why? Because that disciple offended his spiritual master. The last thing the guru wants to see is an offended disciple before his face. He never asked for forgiveness. So it's really, really, really important that we develop strong devotee relationships, because Krishna may arrange for devotees that we don't have good relationship with to be the one to be there when we need them at the time of death. The Lord does very tricky things. He's a prankster. We all know that. He's a big prankster. He says, oh, you want to avoid this devotee? I'm going to create a situation where you're going to be forced to see the devotee because this is who's going to help you. So it's very, very important that we develop loving relationships. Now, if we think of a joint family, I never grew up in a joint family. My mother and my father did, so I hear a lot of stories from them, And a joint family, not everybody is the best of friends. Even among siblings, my mom comes from a family of 8, 4 girls and 4 boys. My dad is 10, and my dad is closer to his older sister, not his younger sister. It happens. My mom is closer to the older brother. It happens, right? But there is some relationship. We're not going to be buddies with everybody, but there's some relationship. It's only me and my sister, so I don't understand that. We're just two, like my husband, same thing, very small family. But we need that relationship. Some we have a closer relationship. Some we have what we call arm-length distance relationship. Some we have a buddy, and that's okay. But we have some relationship where the time of death, they will be there. Krishna will arrange a situation where these are the devotees that will come to our aid when we need them. I was remembering the passing of my mother. Of all the struggles that my mother went through, the only thing that I regret, that I feel sorry for my mother, was there was no one by her side when she left her body in the hospital. Not a single soul. That's the only thing that I really, amongst everything, that was the only thing that I really felt really sorry for my mom. Not even my father. And the only thing that I can think of was, that must have been lonely. By the time the nurse came back and found my mom, she already left her body. And again, just look at the Lord's arrangement. My dad, and I remember, 1:40 in the afternoon, my dad was very hungry, and he told my mom, I'm going to go find food. I'm so hungry. Let me go get food and come back. He went to the hospital cafeteria. My dad is a diabetic, and my dad is typical Indian. He'll eat some American, but if it's too American, he won't eat. So he couldn't find what he wanted. So he was going to go home, and home to the hospital is like 20 minutes. As soon as he came home at 2:20, now 1:40, in 40 minutes, they called and told my dad, your wife passed away. There was nobody by his side. That was the only thing I feel bad of. And I remember praying so hard. I said, at least next life, give her a better body. The good thing is she had enough prasadam. Whenever she comes to my house, I give her prasadam. And whatever she wants, I give her, In the last year of her life, whenever she wanted, my mom likes idli, dosa, sambar. So I did everything for her. So at least she got prasadam, so I'm happy about that. But that is when this principle of community building really hit me. I've heard this for many, many years, but after seeing my mom's leaving, it really hit me. I'm like, Krishna, we really need to develop devotee relationships. If we have offended a devotee, we have to go and ask them, Prabhu, please forgive me for any offenses I've done. Because Krishna says clearly, if you have offended my devotee, that devotee has to forgive you before I, the Lord, can forgive you. So the Supreme Lord will not forgive us if the devotee has not been forgiven. Because if anything hurts a devotee, Krishna takes it very personal. Because that's how dear we are to him. So it's very important that if we have offended somebody, ask Krishna, Prabhu, Mataji, please forgive me if I've done anything wrong. I'm sorry. If I've done something wrong, please help me to be a better person, correct me, guide me, whatever. It's very important because that is how we build relationships. Because these are the devotees that's going to be at our bedside. We cannot, and sometimes we think, some of us have this very calculative mind, right? I'll plan my death before I leave. Again, padam padam yad vipadam. We don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. Why bother planning our death, right? And we think, okay, I'll leave my body this way, this place, this time, this year, whatever, right? And I will plan who's going to be by my bedside table, and I'll plan who's going to chant for me, in what ragam, what talam, what rhythm. It doesn't matter. Because by the time we can't even move a limb, that is when we need the devotees. So it's the devotees that we are with may very well be the devotees whom we will leave our bodies with, or they will be at our death when we need them the most. That is spiritual relationship. That is community building. That is community relationship. It's all about devotee association. It's all about building relationships. If we think of Goloka Vrindavan, everything is done to please the Lord. Nothing is done for us. Everything is done to please the Lord. This material planet is our prison house. You know, this is where we learn our lessons. This is where we get corrected. This is where we get chastised. No, don't do this. This is how you do it. This is where we learn. Why? So that we can become better devoted and we can fit into the mood of Goloka Vrindavan. Because Goloka Vrindavan is very pure. It's very pure. It's very loving. It's very sweet. And it's very ecstatic. And in order for us to fit in that mood, we have to practice it among ourselves. It's not like, okay, tomorrow I leave my body and shoop, I can practice automatically in Goloka Vrindavan. No, we might just come back again and again practice. This is our practice ground. It's very, very important that we really take devotee association seriously. How can we take devotee association seriously? Let me throw that question out and let's see what answers we get. I would love to hear the feedback. How can we improve? How can we increase our devotee association? I can sing that, the Twilight Zone, until we think. Dana, 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 dana. It's yes, Prabhu. With the devotees, absolutely. Every opportunity we get, visit. Every opportunity we get. Whether it's a snowy day, of course, don't put your lives at risk, but sometimes the weather can make us curl back in our beds. That's Maya. That is how Maya says, oh, you know what? This person loves to curl under the bed with a hot cup of tea. I'm going, and I mean, it happens. I'm a culprit, right? The weather is so bleh, like it is today, and this person loves to curl up in bed under a comfy blanket and have a hot cup of soup or tea. I'm going to use that weakness. She's just waiting for a little bit of hole, and the hole is so small we cannot even see it. But once that hole is there, she's going to take it over. We should take any opportunity very seriously. If we know that that opportunity we're going to find devotees, run. You know, I was watching this. Whenever I watch something on TV and they have on YouTube and they have this advertisements that come, it used to irk me till today. I'm like, what stupid nonsense? But anyway, there's this T-Mobile advertisement. I don't know what cell phone number, you know, what grade it's at, but it's just hilarious because the new T-Mobile come out, that ad, and everybody's rushing like mad to grab that T-Mobile. And I said to myself when I was watching it one day, I said, Krishna, if we have that much enthusiasm to run to the temple doors, like how we're running to the T-Mobile, whatever that grade is, Hare Krishna, we have made it to Goloka Vrindavan. That is the whole idea. We should take every opportunity and really take it seriously as an opportunity to be with the devotees, associate with the devotees, mingle with the devotees, take their association, learn from them, ask them questions, inquire. Very important that we take devotee association very seriously. The first point is that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious. Very key point. who are Krishna conscious and who are engaged in devotional service. We should engage with devotees who are Krishna conscious because that's going to make us Krishna conscious. And we should engage with devotees who are engaged in devotional service so we can also have a taste in devotional service. We don't want to be engaged with devotees who are gossipers, who is going to give us the latest news on CNN, who's going to give us the latest note. I think just recently we had the World Cup something. I don't know which country was playing which country. I have no idea. Whatever country, whatever loss, whatever, right? You know, people are going to give us the World Cup news, right? If we engage with devotees who's going to give us the World Cup news, the Super Bowl news, or what sales happening in Macy's or whatever, that is going to be what our mood is going to, that is going to be the end result of our mood. That's not going to be beneficial for our Krishna consciousness. We want to engage with devotees who are Krishna conscious and who are engaged in devotional service. Only then will we get the taste, right? If we are a medical student, we hang out with law students, right? Right? No. Medical students hang out with medical students, not with law students. Engineering students hang out with doctors, engineers. If you hang out with everybody, you're not going to learn nothing. We are going to take one pie from here, one pie from here, one pie from here, and bring all the pie. It's going to be khichdi pie. We hang out with those that we aspire to be. So if we want to be Krishna conscious, if we really want to seek really a good association, we associate with those who are Krishna conscious and those who are engaged in devotional service. Number two, second solution is engage with those who understand the practical and theoretical knowledge, not only the theory. Simply by theoretical knowledge, we're not going to get advancement. How many of us took chemistry, biology, physics in high school, in college? We all did, my husband's a teacher, so he knows. We all did lab and theory. We never did theory and no lab, right? It goes hand in hand. Same thing, Krishna consciousness. Theory and practical. If we really want to know what is the theoretical knowledge, we have to apply it practically. Then it makes sense. If someone has never cooked in their life, ever, and they call somebody and said, you know, Prabhuji, you put rice, you wash the rice, then you put water, then you put on stove, they'll ask you, but Prabhu, how do I turn the stove on? Someone who has never been in the kitchen, and you tell them how to do it, but I don't know how to turn the stove on. Why are you going to the rice pot? I don't know how to turn the stove on. Of course, now they have the rice cooker, which is a lazy method in my opinion, but that's my personal opinion. But someone can say, but how do you plug the rice cooker in the socket? Theory and practical. If we want to advance in Krishna consciousness, theoretical knowledge is not enough. We need also the theory and the practical. Second, service or devotion cannot be offered to anything impersonal. It must be offered to a person. Service and devotion must be offered to a person, not to a thing that is impersonal. There's no reciprocation. There's no reciprocation. Personal relationship. I'll tell you a pastime that happened many years ago in Gitanagari. Two devotees, Shri Gonitai ki, Jagnabhaya Subhadra ki. Two devotees got into a very big fight, very big argument. This was probably in the, I would say 98, 99. And they both had great ideas on how to do a service, but they got into an argument. So big of an argument that one almost got into a fist fight. Literally got into a fist fight. And the news got to my spiritual master. They really had to, that voice had to hold both these guys like, you know, they were like really angry. So the news got to my spiritual master, and so heated up. And they said, what do we do with these two devotees who have really got into a big fight, fist fight? How can they make ends meet? What do you think was the solution? Just throw some answers out. What do you think he said? What do you think he told these two guys to do to fix their heated argument? Yes.
Combine ideas.
Nope. I wish it was that easy. That's acceptable. Go ahead. How many of us can actually do that? So the person that started the fight, he's 6'2". The other one is 5'5". They still got in a fist fight. The person who started the fight had to serve the other devotee for 1 month. And do you know what service he had to do? I will tell you. He had to wash his clothes. He had to dry them. He had to iron them. He had to make his plate and have him eat before he ate prasadam. Talk about coming down the ladder and smashing the ego. That is spiritual relationships. And let me tell you, after a month, they became the best of friends. They work so beautifully together, and they're in the cow department. They work so beautifully together. We were shocked. We thought they would run away. No, they became best of friends. That is what it takes. Service and devotion is to a person, not to an impersonal, something impersonal. To understand the personal activities of the Lord, one must seek devotee association. These are the solutions. If we really want to understand the activities of the Lord, we have to seek devotee association. We cannot just read it and think I've aced it. It's not like doing an online class and, copy-paste by Googling the answer on a different Google page and then copy-paste the answer. Believe me, people do that. If they do online classes, they don't study, but when it comes to an online exam, they just open several pages and then they Google the answer and copy-paste the answer and they get an A. That's amazing. I'm surprised. Anyway, so yes. So if we really want to understand the activities of the Lord, we have to seek devotee association. They will help us understand the activities of the Lord. Next answer. One who has firm faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes fixed, and his attraction for devotee association increases. Very powerful point. If you think about it, if our devotee association increases, our faith in Krishna increases. Our attraction to Krishna increases. Very much interrelated. So the more we increase devotee association, our attraction and faith increases in the Lord. It's all based on devotee association. Very powerful. Association with devotees mean association with Krishna. Sometimes we separate. Okay, Krishna, you're in one category. Devotees, you're in another category. No. Srila Prabhupada says, association with devotees means associating with the Lord. Same plane, two parallel lines. They're not off track. Very, very, very similar. The devotee who makes this association develops the consciousness for rendering service to the Lord. Everything is back on devotee association. Because why? Devotees are considered to be kalpa vriksha, desire trees. So it's very important. If we want to have firm faith in the Lord, go find devotees. If you want to learn about the Lord, seek devotee association. If you really want to know what the Lord likes and don't like, ask the devotees of the Lord. Don't assume, don't think that once we assume and we guess, it becomes very whimsical. That means it's like saying 1 + 1 is 3. No, 1 + 1 is 2 because that's how we were taught. So it's very important that we ask devotees, what is this? What's the right thing to do? Anything you want to learn, ask devotees. And if we really want to increase our faith and attraction to the Lord, devotee association. And I can guarantee you, the more we build that mood, the more we understand that mood, the more those devotees will be at our bedside. And I'll end with this last pastime. I'll open up for questions and discussions and takeaways. Many years ago, when I first moved to Gitanagari, there was 95. I was the only non-Western devotee in the community. I was the only non-Western. Little challenging, but still, when you are with devotees, you forget the skin of your color. Just washes away after some time. There was one particular devotee that I've always wanted to connect with, but for some reason, this person would always turn away from me. And one time I asked my spiritual master, I said, I really, really want to be friends with this devotee, but somehow I feel like she doesn't want to be my friend. What did I do? Did I offend her? He says, no, you did not. It's just that the country that she came from, they have a particular mindset. So don't worry. You just keep serving her. And he said that. You just keep serving her. One day she'll turn around. So Krishna's arrangement, in 97, she went into labor. In the mid of winter, January, and Gitanagari winters are bad, very bad. And her midwife, rather than going to her house, they came to our house. And there was snow all over. She came up, my husband saw her, had to tell, no, this is the wrong house, and we know that she was going into labor. So my husband helped the midwife to go to that house. And the midwife was just in time. The child was delivered. He's, 20-something years old now. From that little act of kindness, we became very good friends. Just that little act of kindness, just at one time. And I remember in 2000, when was it? 2011, when I had to go to the hospital, because at the time I had a fatal heart condition. In 2011, I had to go for a heart procedure. And I came back and I couldn't do anything for 3 weeks. My kids were in school. My husband had to go to teach. This devotee, every day for 1 month, she made me homemade fresh chapatis and dal. For 1 month, every single day. Till today, we are very good. Even though we don't talk so much, but when we see each other, it's like there was no time between us. We pick off where we left off. It's like there was no gap. That is spiritual relationships. Krishna will create a situation where we have to go out of our way to serve the devotee. Out of our way, inconvenience ourselves. Then is when the rasa becomes very sweet. Until today, I thank her. And I always remember her. She makes best homemade chapatis, by the way. I still remember her chapatis and dal till today. She took care of me for 1 month. Srila Prabhupada ki. Any questions, any comments, any? Yes, we'll go with Manoj and then we'll go to Kripamoya. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Didi.
Hare Krishna.
First of all, wonderful lecture. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And
Ki Jai.
And I beg your pardon for my ignorance here. My question is it not that our whatever body we attain in our next birth, is it not also dependent on our past karma as well? Like, for example, if we take the Dhritarashtra's example, like he got 100 sons, and then he was born as a blind king because of his past karma. And in this context, if we compare with King Bharata's Bharata taking birth as a deer in his next birth, so is it not connected to also, dependent on also our past karmas?
Karma is there, but when we chant the holy name of the Lord, if you think the story of Ajamil, right? Ajamil was born in a Brahmin family. He got sidetracked by having a prostitute as his wife, but he had a son named Narayan. He was engaged in very, very sinful activities. At the time of death, the Yamadutas came and the Vishnudutas came. But because he was chanting the name of Narayan, the Vishnuduta says, the Yamaduta says, because he mentioned the name of Lord Krishna, Narayan. And the Vishnudutas took him, the Yamadutas didn't take him. The mercy is so amazing, Prabhu, so amazing, that if we remember the name of the Lord at the time of that, and that is why it's very important that when someone is leaving the body or close to leaving the bodies, we play Prabhupada's chanting. Because the last thing that goes away is the hearing. So when we remember the Lord's name and we chant the Lord's name, all the karma doesn't matter. The Lord will save us because the power of the holy name is immense. Just like the story of Ajamil. Immense. Just mentioning Narayan, here come the Vishnudutas. Yamaduta says, oops, we got to check out because he called the name of the Lord. Okay, we're not taking this soul. Krishna's going to take this soul. That's the power of the holy name. So as soon as we hear the chanting of the holy name, we play Prabhupada's japa, just chanting the holy name, and devotees are chanting around us. That hearing, Krishna will force himself into our minds. And all that karma doesn't matter. That is the power of the holy name. That is the reason why if you see many devotees in ISKCON, as soon as we know that someone is close to death or possibility to dying, devotees will always be by their side 24/7. They'll even take shifts if they have to. 24/7, they'll either be chanting or playing kirtan, the holy name, or they play Prabhupada japa. Because the last thing that goes when a person is leaving is the hearing. Everything may shut down, but the hearing is the last. And Bhakti Swami says that no matter what happens at the time of death, when the devotees are chanting, Krishna will force himself into our minds that will remember him, and that's all it takes. And the Lord will come and take us. Beautiful promise by the Lord. So yeah, we remember the Lord's name, everything else is out the window. Beauty of the holy name of the Lord. Wonderful. Very, very amazing. I hope that helped. Yes, Kripamoya. Someone give him the mic.
Thank you. I just wanted to first say that I love that you were really making the point nicely about the importance of relationships in devotional service. Yeah. That's truly key. But really, I just wanted to ask who was making those chapatis.
Mother Sudevi.
I thought that might have been it. Thank you.
Till today, we keep in touch. Till today. 1 month, she took care of me. And she would bring hot, every day, 20, not 5, 20 chapatis. Beautiful, love it. Nice ghee on it too, but anyway, yes. I still remember it, this happened in 2011, 10 years, I still remember, it's so fresh in my mind until today. I always thank her because that is devotee relationship. They may forget what they have done. Like whenever my kids tell me, oh, mommy, you bought this dress. I'm like, huh? When did I buy it? I don't remember when I bought it. Because when we give, we don't keep tabs like the grocery store people do. We don't keep tabs. But the recipient, because they're grateful, they remember. And that is the mood. We have to remember the good deeds so that we can keep thanking them and appreciating the relationship, and that is what's going to help us build relationships. Sometimes I know that I always thank devotees, and they always tell me, no, Anusuya, don't thank me. You are embarrassing me. No, the reason I do that, it's not namesake. I sincerely, sincerely, sincerely am thankful. That's why I say thank you. It's not lip service. It's because I know that if I serve you, hopefully you'll be at my bedside when I'm dying. That's the whole idea. That's devotional relationship. Any other questions? Yes, dear Krishna. Volume is not on, beta. I've got to hold it, I think, and then it comes on. I can hear you.
Yeah. So 2 questions.
Perfect.
Yeah.
One is, when we talk about devotee appreciation, how can we respect everyone with the appreciation? At the same time, we want to make sure that appreciation is right for us. Because we don't have limited time. And second is,
Let me answer this one first because my mind is good. I have limited RAM, unfortunately. What is coming to my mind is Bhakti Swami. He says that we should respect all devotees. The first and foremost, he says that we should acknowledge the devotees when we see them. Eye to eye, Hare Krishna. Personal connection. It's very important that we connect the eyes, because when I look into your eye, I'm acknowledging you, and you're seeing my reciprocation. It's very important. That's the first and foremost, is when we want to respect devotees, we have to first acknowledge them. Hare Krishna, how are you? Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, whatever. That's the first thing. Because by not acknowledging and walking by them is an offense. It's even said in Nectar of Instruction. That's an offense. Bhakti Swami says that every devotee should be appreciated and respected. At the same time, we should choose our association based, we cannot put them in levels, but we should choose our association for purpose of growth, not purpose of gossip. If I want to, for example, if I come to the temple room, I see the foyer clean, really clean, and we're like, gosh, who cleaned this floor? It's so clean. I want to be that devotee's friend and learn how he cleaned that floor. And many of us don't take the time to actually see if the floor is clean. And even if we see the floor is clean, we were like, I guess someone cleaned it, whatever, you know. But that is what we want to know, right? Who cleaned this floor? I want to be that person's friend. So I can clean Krishna's floor like that, because that's going to be pleasing to the Lord. Right? So we want to be careful that whom we associate with will help us grow in Krishna consciousness, not bring us down. See, Krishna consciousness has to go up. It cannot remain stagnant. Because anything that remains stagnant will slide, will go down. Stagnant won't remain stagnant. It's going to go down. It's got to go up. So when actually, my spiritual master says, every few months, we have to see ourselves growing up 1 degree. 1 degree. We cannot be stagnant. If we are stagnant, that means we are lazy. And he'll say it right after I say, we are lazy and complacent. We got to go 1 degree up. After a few months, 1 degree up. After a few months, 1 degree up, because we're growing Krishna consciousness. So we have to respect everybody, but at the same time, choose association that inspires us to grow spiritually. Because everybody is at different levels. Like if you look in a first grade class, right? Not every student is going to score 95% in class. Some 85 plus, some 75 plus, some 85, 95, different grade, because that's what their thinking is at. So if we want to score 95%, we are going to go to the kid in our class who is scoring 95%. We won't go to the one who's 95%. But at the same time, we will not put them, oh, you're so dumb. You only going to person. I'm not going to be a friend. No, we don't do that. We'll still be friends with them, but we will still hang out with those where I can become better in my grade. So we respect everybody, but at the same time, who inspires us in Krishna consciousness? We hang out with them. Because only they will help us to grow in Krishna consciousness. I hope I answered that first question. Your second question, Prabhu.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of touched the second
The second
question.
one? Okay.
Yeah. But if you can give us little quick points, what should be done in the devotee association? Because generally, sometimes we think just having lunch or dinner together is devotee association. I mean, there has to be a little more to it. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
When devotees are coming together, the conversation should always be about learning, inquiring, and how to become a better person. It shouldn't be about, I cooked this yesterday, my dal didn't come out nicely, or my chapatis did not puff up or something, or, I saw this one. Because that's all mundane talk. We do that enough. We do that enough. That's why in the beginning of the class, I asked, take a moment and think of our environment, our job circle, our social circle, our family circle. How much time in the day are we giving to this pie of the day? Right? Job circle, social circle, family circle, this circle, whatever. That is going to determine how little we are giving to our Krishna consciousness. So it's very important that when we come with devotees, we learn, I heard this. Can you please explain to me? I don't understand what Prabhupada said in this. I read this in this book by Prabhupada. Can you explain to me? How can I become a better person? How can I do this better? It's all about learning. Devotional life is learning to grow. And there's never an end to learning. That is one thing I was taught by a very senior Prabhupada disciple, Mother Kalini. At her dying bed, before she left her body, she told me, she served for 40-something years in Gitanagari. And I told her, Mother Kalini, you got your ticket back to Godhead. She goes, Anasuya, I haven't done much. I'm like, what? 45 years? She goes, no, I could do more. That should be our consciousness, always learning. So when we come together, we should be learning, asking questions, inquiring, and how to become a better person. Because there's never an end. Talking about Krishna conscious projects, doing this for Krishna, doing that for Prabhupada, doing something, something grand. Everything should be Krishna conscious. Because when we go back to our job circle, 8-9 hours, those of us working from home is 12 hours. We don't talk about this stuff. I know I don't. It's all about numbers. So when we come with devotees, which is once in a week, right, we have to really take full advantage and ask questions and learn and grow and think, how can we do this better? How can we do that better? How can we do this better? Always thinking, how can I do it better for the Lord and his devotees? And anything that we do and we make the devotees happy, Krishna is happy. Hope I answered your question, bro. Any other question? We've got 2 more minutes. Yes, Jitmitra Govinda Das. He's going to ask me a heated question. Go ahead.
No,
I'm joking.
I was going to ask, so to Prabhu's question, you answered that we should associate with devotees who inspire us. And earlier in the lecture, you mentioned that, we don't know which devotee is going to be at our bedside during the time of death. So we have to try to develop all devotee relationships.
Yes.
So, the 2 statements are a little bit contradictory in some sense, but more importantly, the question was that when we are going to develop devotee relationships, is there some kind of criteria, like the people whom we are more emotionally compatible with, or people whom we trust, or is it more like those who are spiritually more advanced than us? Is there...
So let me answer the first question. When you asked that question, I was thinking about my husband's mother. He shared with me this story about his mother. His mother was a headmistress of the school. And she had different classes, all students, hundreds of students in the class. And all the students, I'm sure, have given a hard time because she's a headmistress, right? And every kid is a different level. When she was dying, and my husband he was told by his sister, when she was dying, was it 600 of them? 400. Every kid in the school came to his mother's house and sang Christian songs until she left her body. So does that mean that the one that gave her the hard time is a rascal and his singing is going to be nonsense? No. Does that mean the one that scored the A's and was the good teacher's kid is the one that sang the most beautiful? No. At the time of death, you'll be amazed, and I witnessed this. I have witnessed this in my devotional life with few devotees who I have experienced their passing. The last one I witnessed was my spiritual master. I witnessed like 4 or 5. When someone is dying, no matter what level we are at, it brings people together. It does some magic on the heart. It breaks it so hard that whatever happens, it's very sweet at the end. So if the whole temple comes to one person's death, even though we may not be best friends with every one of them, that's okay. They are doing a service because they are still serving the devotee of the Lord by reminding the devotee of the Lord, hey, we are pushing Krishna in your mind, man. You got to remember the Lord because you're close to your death. That is the service. So even at the time of death, we are still serving that devotee. I hope I answered that first question of yours. Now, ask me your second question because I said I have low RAM, so you know.
Yeah, the second question was, when we go to develop devotee relationships, is there some kind of like criteria that people with whom we are emotionally compatible, or maybe they're spiritually more advanced, or, you know?
First, we go by inspiration. When we get inspired by a devotee on their Krishna consciousness, their mood in devotional service, you know, their interaction, you know, how they treat devotees, how they speak, if that pulls us, we can build a relationship. It's like choosing a spiritual master, right? There are so many gurus in ISKCON, but we need to have that calling, that connection. You know, like this guru, I've heard all these gurus, but this one is really getting to my heart. That's relationship. So we, like I was answering to Hare Krishna's question, we build relationships with everybody. Everybody's not going to be a best friend. I don't think any one of us have best friends that's all around the world. If not, we're in trouble. It's very hard to keep up. We'll probably, you know, might as well just jump in the Ganga or something. It's just too many friends to deal with, right? But have an amicable relationship. But at the same time, we will have close ones that we can lean on. Even the gurus have that. All the gurus in ISKCON, they have a very beautiful relationship with everybody. But there are few that they lean on, that they understand them, they understand. It's a two-way. Am I making sense? Okay. Any other questions? Very deep topic. And ending with that, that is the reason why on Christmas, Krishna's arrangement, Christmas falls on Sunday program, on Sunday. And that day, we have a challenge for every devotee who's going to be in town on Christmas. One of the instructions of Srila Rupa Goswami is giving and receiving gifts. So we're going to apply that on Christmas. So whoever is going to be in town, and I hope we all will be in town on Christmas, each family bring a gift to another family that you hardly know. Please do not bring a gift to a friend that you know. They've seen enough gifts from you. And I think they have enough gifts from us. Bring a gift, anything, no dollar value. Bring a gift. Give a gift to a family that you have hardly served, reciprocated, or know. And watch the magic. Are we in for this? Hands up or hands down? Hariva! Srila Prabhupada ki! Guru Puja Arti. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Vrinda. Turn this thing off. Did it close? I didn't do anything to it.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Bando Muhi Savadana Mati. Bando Muhi Savadana Mati. Jahara Prasadevai Ibhavaturiya Jai. Jahara Prasadevai Ibhavaturiya Jai. Krishna Prapti Ho Jahati. Krishna Prapti Ho Jahati. kya chite te koriya kya Guru mukha padma kya chite te koriya kya Arana kori ho mane asha Arana kori ho mane asha Guru Charane Rati Ese Uchama Gati Guru Charane Rati Ese Uchama Gati Je pasade pure sarva acha Je pasade pure sarva acha Chakodan dirode janme janme prabhu se Chakodan dirode janme janme prabhu se Jeve gan hriday prokasito Jeve gan hriday prokasito Prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasya jate Prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasya jate Vede jai jahara charito Vede jai jahara charito Sri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamma Janara Bandhu Sri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamma Janara Bandhu Lokana Loke Rajivana Lokana Loke Rajivana Aha Prabhu Koro Doya De Homo Re Padachaya Aha Prabhu Koro Doya De Homo Re Padachaya Eve Jas Kusukti Bhuvana Eve Jas Kusukti Bhuvana Ah Prabhu Koro Doya Deho More Padachaya Ah Prabhu Koro Doya Deho More Padachaya Ebejas Gusukti Bhuvana Ebejas Gusukti Bhuvana Lila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Lila Gurudev Patita Pavana Jaya Prabhupada 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 Lila Prabhupada Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Shatarini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Goranga, Nitai Goranga, Nitai Goranga, Gora Hari. Nitai Goranga, Gora Hari. Nitai Goranga, Nitai Goranga, Nitai Goranga, Nitai Goranga, Nitai Goranga, Gora Hari. Nitai Goranga, Gora Hari. Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Gora Hari. Jaya Sachinandana, Gora Hari. Gora, Gora, Gora Hari. Jaya Gora, Gora, Gora Hari. Nitai Goranga, Gora Hari. Nitai Goranga, Gora Hari. Krishna, 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 He. Krishna, 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 He. Krishna, 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 He. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshama. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshama. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahima. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahima. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagame Baba to me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagame Baba to me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagame Baba to me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Baba to me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Baba to me. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Swami Jaya Jagannath. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath. Jaya Balade, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Balade, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Gora Premanande. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivajikacharya Stotra Satyasishi Maharaj Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivajikacharya Stotra Satyasishi Maharaj Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnavini ki. Nama Charya Sri Haridas Thakur ki. ISKCON founder Charya Srila Prabhupada ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Dvaita Gadadha Shivashari Gaura Bhakta Vindi ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopana Shyam Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan ki. Vrindavan Dham ki. Mathura Dham ki. Navadvip Dham ki. Jagannath Puri Dham ki. Jagannath Swami ki. Ganga Mai ki. Jamuna Mai ki. Tulsi Devi ki. Bhakti Devi ki. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vindi ki. Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. For Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Hiranyakashipu Vaksha Sila Tankana Kalai Ito Nesingo Tarado Nesingo Toyami Jato Nesingo Vashi Nesingo Tridaye Nesingo Narasimhamajin Sharanam Prapadi Avakara Kamaravare Naka Albuta Singha Alita Hiranyakasipu Tano Benga Ishavarita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jayana Singhade, Jayana Singhade, Nasingade, Jayana Singhade. Jaya Balan Malan, Balan Malan, Balan Malan, Jaya Balan Malan. Hari O Nitai Gora Hari O. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Sringa Bhagavan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Gola Premanandi.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki. Lovely voices. So nice to hear the temple room full of dancing. It's so nice. I was remembering a comment that Anantama Prabhu, our GBC, when he came the last time, and he said, Anasuya, everybody danced for Aarti. He says, not one person was standing. He said, in some temples, some will stand, but everybody was dancing. He was so enthusiastic. That's all kudos to all of you. Thank you so much for making our Aarti and Kirtan so magnetic, magnificent. Thank you. So a few announcements. This Tuesday is Giving Tuesday, Thanksgiving, Giving Tuesday, whatever, some Giving Tuesday. And that's the time when a lot of organizations will run to fundraise for different reasons, different interest. And we always have it on Facebook, and next week, this week, on Tuesdays when we have it. Our goal this year, and we are humbly requesting devotees to please go deep in your pockets, give us as much as you can. Our goal this year is we have 4 major projects that we want to do. Hopefully we can get them done by Gaur Purnima, by the month of March. We're going to build a new altar. And we have our local contractor, Bhakta Josh. He's going to build an altar. And the 4 projects is we would like to get a new altar for their lordships. We would like to get new lightings, because if you have a new altar and old lighting, is going to be So you want to get new lighting for the deities on the altar, new lightings over here, new curtain for the deities, and upgrade the flooring for the altar. These are 4 main projects that we want to do, and we really, really hope to get it done by March. It's a big, what's the word? Big service, thank you. Couldn't think of the right word. It's a huge service, it's a big service, but I think it's really needed, it's overdue, and I think that the Lord deserves new lighting, new altar, new curtain, new flooring. So our goal is to, if we can, to raise 10,000 by this Tuesday. So if you can please share the word, spread the word. If you have friends that would like to contribute towards this good cause, please do join us on Facebook. It starts at 8 in the morning and it goes on till the match closes or something like that. That's a science, but it just goes on, right? Few minutes. Okay, so please set your clock. Now, I don't know how we're going to do that and hearing Bhagavatam class at the same time. That's going to be a interest. Okay, so we'll do 8 or 5. Okay, just 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes, right? So please share the word around, share with your friends, dig into your pockets if you can. We really, 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 really want to give a nice altar for the Lord, and it's going to be wood. So that is the whole idea, is to give them a wonderful altar. And we're very happy that Krishna has sent Josh, and Josh is here to stay, and Krishna is going to use Josh to build an altar. And we know that when Josh completes the altar and everything else for the Lord, he's got his ticket back to Godhead. For sure. I don't know how many of you know, but in the whole summer, after he did our Rath Yatra, he went on 4 other Rath Yatras to help Akhilananda Prabhu to put the whole card. So you know he got his ticket. So thank you, Josh. Thank you so much. So please do share the news. You know, it's 2 days. We really need as much as we can to start. We got a donation, and it's like seed money, as we call it, to start the altar, but we definitely need more to do everything else. So it's going to be a big endeavor, a big service. But when we please the Lord and His devotees, the Lord is always pleased, and He opens the door for more opportunities. So that is our goal of life. What pleases the Lord and the devotees, we just keep doing it. So please, any questions, please do see Hare Krishna or myself about the Giving Tuesday on this coming Tuesday. December 3rd is Gita Jayanti. It's a wonderful time to come together. It is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's on a Saturday, and we recite it in English. Reciting in English is 10 million times much better because we know what we are reciting. And we know what it's saying, we know the meaning. So please, it takes 3 hours to recite the whole Bhagavad Gita. So we will start at 1 o'clock. It will go on 3 hours, 4 o'clock. And we'll have Duparti followed by Prasadam. It's Ekadasi that day. So that is the best time, is to really recite the whole Bhagavad Gita on the auspicious day of Ekadasi. So please spread the word, join us, bring your friends, bring your family. It's a beautiful time. It's really powerful when all of us come. You know, it's just like when we go on the street, Harinam Sankirtan, when we all chant together, it's amazing. So coming together and reading the whole Bhagavad Gita is like magnificent. So please do pass the word around. December 4th, the very next day, our Sunday program, we have a special guest speaker. We all know him, but he's still a special guest speaker. His Grace Vishugada Prabhu. He's going to come and give the class next Sunday, so please spread the word. Let's have a packed house. He's a very senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada, very senior, so please do join us for that. And like we mentioned on the Christmas day, we really want to start building the mood of community, spiritual consciousness, giving gifts, receiving gifts, serving each other, pampering the devotees, giving them gifts. It's such a beautiful experience. So you will hear more about that in the next week or so, about what to expect for Christmas. But please bring your families, and again, bring a gift. It doesn't have to be anything valuable. Even if you make cookies, it's beautiful. Make something sweet. Bring it to someone, to a devotee that you have not served before, you don't know much about, you want to connect with them. That is when the ice breaks, and it really sprouts a beautiful relationship. So please do join us on Christmas Day. And we are going to have a Christmas prasadam, like a traditional Christmas dinner, so please do join us. Before we end, today's feast, 75%, 80% of the credit goes to Meera. If she did not come through, there was no way I could have cooked the feast. Thank you, Meera. Sincerely from my heart, thank you. Because she really saved the day, as they say. Thank you so much. So without further delay, please do see the deities, and please have a wonderful Thanksgiving prasadam. Srila Prabhupada ki! One of you say.
Mahaprasade Govinde, Namo Brahmane Vaishnave, Namo Brahmane Svalpa Punyavatam Rajan, Vishwasune Vajayate, Sharirar Vidyajal, Jogendriya Dahekal, Indriya Dahekal, Jive Pale Vishesh Sagore, Pale Vishesh Tara Mate Jivayati, Rate Jivaya, Lobul Boy Sudharmati, Tak Jetak Tin Samsare, Krishna Baro Doya Moy, Krishna Baro, Gori Bare Jivo Jai, Gori Bare, Isva Prasadam Dilo Bhai, Prasadam Dilo, Sai Annamrita Pao, Radha Krishna Guna Gao, Krishna Guna, the Premeta Chaitanya Nitai, Jai Nimai, Jai Nitai, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Shri Vasadi Gaur. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Mahaprasadam ki. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
And today is Mother Badangi's birthday.
Hare Krishna.
Happy birthday, Mother Badangi. Thank you for being here. Thank you for always supporting us. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for giving us strength to push on Prabhupada's mission. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.